What it do? What it do? What it do? What it do? Mic check, 2 1 2. What it do, man? It's your boy DeMarcus back with it again, and this is another episode of the Life of a Multifacet. And it's been a little bit since I've done the episode, but I was thinking about something I could talk about today, and this is a topic that was like on my mind, but it was really simple, and it has to do with this podcast, and especially for my faceteers out there. I'm sure that y'all have probably taken a lot of time just to kind of like reflect on this. But for today's episode, I want to talk about like what are some areas in my life, or what are some things that like push me into being a multifaceted. Like, is it just that I was naturally born like this, or were there some like things in my life that kind of like push me in that direction? And so, for all my faceteers out there, you might not have thought about that. You might have not taken time to really reflect on what exactly that was for you. And it maybe isn't like always like this positive experience. Like, hey, I was just interested in just a lot of things and I just wanted to be involved. Like, yeah, like that can probably be a big part of it. But also, you may have had some ways in which you're like, nah, I don't want to move in my life in this way. I see how other people are moving. I see how such and such is doing this. I see how certain things are going in life. Like, I don't want to do that. And so for you becoming a multifaceted, it may just be a different part of your story. And so we'll go ahead and dive right into it. But when I think about being a multifaceted, I'll be honest, I do think that as I got older, I realized that it was definitely a part of who I was naturally. Like there's just so many different ways of life that I wanted to explore. There were so many different things I was learning. There was just so many different things I was interested in being involved in. Now I will say as I got older, I realized that I didn't want to just be stuck in one lane. You know, and I was thinking about life when I was younger, like sports was the main thing that a lot of us were involved in. And as I was playing sports, like I was really good at it at a young age. But as I got older, you know, I realized like, I don't know if I want this to be my whole life. And the times about going to practice and getting up super early. One, I did not like getting up early. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like getting up at 6 a.m. for practices and then having to go to school right after that. I mean, bro, that was just terrible. And it's funny because now I'm a person where there's certain days I can get up really early. Feel like I'm nocturnal at times. Like people know that I can be staying up hella late, but I'm a person where, bro, getting up early isn't like a problem for me, especially on days that I'm fasting. I'm still in the process of doing it, but probably today I end up completing maybe like a 40-hour fast because I think I'm on, let's see, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. So right now I'm on about like 34, 35 hours. And I've been in this phase where I've been actually like losing like a good amount of weight. And I'm going to explain that in another episode or talk about that. But I'm just saying that for myself, like getting up early and stuff now, it feels more natural than it did when I was younger because you have to be forced to get up. Then, you know, you get up for school every single day. Like everybody isn't meant, well, I'm gonna say everybody isn't meant to. Everybody doesn't have the natural instinct just to wake up early like that, especially just because I guess how you move and how your life's flowing. So for me, I just was always someone that just happened to stay up late and getting up at 6 a.m. every single day to catch the bus, go to school, like that was just not it. But when it comes to things I was involved in, like I was involved in like academic programs, I was involved in, I mean, just all different types of like, I used to like love roller skating. I mean, just all the things you can think about. And it probably, I won't say it's probably due to me being a only child because I feel like given that I may have been exposed to a bit less. The reason why I say that is because if somebody has like brothers and sisters, then they may have where they're going through certain experiences, so they get a chance to experience something at this time, that time. They may sense something new that they haven't got exposed to before. But as an only child, I can only really base things off of what my parents or maybe some cousins that came around were talking about. And I didn't really have a whole lot of cousins that were, especially my age, all my cousins and stuff were mostly older. Or it was like maybe friends and stuff that you had, but also for the friends and stuff my age, like really the experiences and things that they were talking about was probably based on what their siblings were telling them. And we were also young, so in regards to doing certain things, going certain places. Like I just wasn't allowed to do all that. My parents was just like they ain't gonna admit it, but they was pretty strict because they were just wanting to make sure I was protected. Which to this day I do appreciate them for that. And I always think about it like, man, if I am blessed to have wife and kids one day, how would I parent? Because seeing how like my parents were a bit strict on me, but also seeing the type of man that I've been able to turn into, I'm like, man, that was such a blessing. But also there was like a lot of headaches and battles that we had, in the household, just about like things to do and not to do. So yeah, I have to give parents respect on the parenting that they do, especially as their first children and stuff like that, because I mean that seems like such a task, especially when you're trying to figure out your own life. But getting back to the story about the multifacets, that yeah, for me it was just like getting involved in a whole bunch of things like that. And so I would say honestly, if I'm being very transparent, yes, I was involved in a lot of things and I just had so many interests in a lot of areas. I think the biggest pillar for me becoming a multifaceted individual and loving it and wanting to prove how dope it can be is the fact that I've had so many points in my life where people would flake. People wouldn't follow through. People would talk about what they want to do, didn't want to move forward with it, and I would be let down so much. And I remember this as at a young age before I even went to college, and even like coming back home and stuff after college. I remember so many times where like people were doing stuff, I get left out, or you see where some people started to change, and even after college and even during college a bit too, like you see where people was like acting weird and people were flaking, and there would just be so many things I wanted to do and so many goals that I've had and so many adventures that I wanted to seek out, and people just wouldn't follow through. And it's funny because by me saying that, I was a person at times where I didn't follow through the best, but I realized that me not following through was also due to my environment as well. I was somebody that like was kind of raised around like people and just environments where, hey, we'll catch up with you, later at some point. Hey, I can't make it today, or I don't feel like doing this. It's always kind of like that. I don't feel like doing this, or I'm good. It can happen another day type of mentality. And the age I'm at now, I can't stand that. And I think that as far as when it comes to community, that's a big thing that has pushed us away from community because we don't prioritize keeping up with our people. And I'm not saying like if you got stuff going on and you can't, or if it's like, you ain't talked to somebody in a little minute, having like a little conversation. Like if you ain't talked to somebody in a minute on the phone, but y'all still like exchanging stuff on Instagram, but I mean, that's still keeping up. But I'm talking about like when you get a chance to like meet people in person, or you got a chance to really connect with them, and you're like, okay, I'll catch you another time. And a lot of times we don't realize that is actually something that can be generationally passed down because people can get lazy. And it's that whole mentality of like really taking life for granted. Like, hey, I'll get a chance to see you another time. Like today ain't a good time. And what happens is at one moment turns into another moment, turns into a third moment, to a fourth. It just keeps on being a repetitive cycle to the point to where you start to put things on the back burner for yourself. So it's not even a thing to where you're not seeing other people like, or doing things with others. Like you're not doing anything for yourself. And so the times where you start to maybe do things for yourself is when you're kind of pushed maybe by others, or when you get to a point to where you feel maybe really low and you just want to change. And I hated that. Like when I started to realize that, and honestly, I think it's a part of DNA. Like you start to see how family moves and you start to see how people in your life move, and you realize it's just a continued cycle that's passed down. You realize it's a continued type of mentality that's passed around from people around you. And you just like, nah, bro, I can't keep living like this. Like I'm missing out on so many great opportunities. And it's not even that every opportunity is going to be one that's like life changing, but it can just be the decision making process. Like say for instance, if there's like an opportunity, I don't know, to level up your career, and it's to go to a webinar where you can meet someone that's a I don't know, a famous individual and get some key talking points. Okay, you might go to the webinar. It might not be anything that you expected. It might not be what you're looking for. It might not be able to help you at all. But the fact that you took the time to say, you know what, I want to go to this thing to be able to level up myself and to enhance who I am, enhance my well being, increase my personal development, you're taking life into your own hands. You are saying that no matter what, I don't want to be complacent. I don't want to stay at the point that I am in my life. I don't want to be the same person. Like, I want to grow and elevate. But even though it didn't work out the way you wanted to, you are taking the steps to get to that next level. And that's what it's about. That's what has helped me and changed life for me in so many ways, because I don't have to depend on others to be able to take those strides. Even when I take strides, it's because I want to do it for myself. I'm not really worried about what everybody else got going on. I say not really, because there's been times in my life where I'm like, man, I don't know if I should do this. Man, I ain't got nobody to go with. But I realized early on that I'm not going to be able to get to that next level the more that I worry about if I have others to come with me, or worry about like who's going to be in the zone with me. Because by the time I wait for that, my whole life's going to pass by, and I'm not going to be able to do anything for myself. And that's not saying that you're going to have every point in your life you're going to be able to move through swiftly, and things are just going to be able to work out in the way that you want to, or that you're going to follow through with everything and not procrastinate. No, you're human. But if you move in a way to where you're intentional and you're not letting life pass you by, I guarantee you'll have way more opportunities that you move forward with than the ones that you wait for others on. Like, listen, I'm someone where I've gotten to the point, and I love it too. I'll go on a solo trip. Hell, I go to the club, to the bar by myself. I'll go out to a random event where I don't know anybody by myself. I'll go outside, and if I see, women, I'll go up. I don't need no homies or nothing with me to go up and talk to no group of women. Like, and that's the funny thing with me, because of how my personality is. I've always been in situations where I've had to act on things by myself anyway. And I had to learn that, because there were so many points to where I was looking for people to be with me, and I wanted that camaraderie, but I just never really got it. And especially from like a best friend homie perspective, I never really had a road dog with me. Like, I've heard people have that. I know my pops, he's had that back in his day, but honestly, I've never had a road dog where I can be like, hey, bro, look, let's go on this mission together. And when I say mission, I ain't talking about nothing crazy like how the YNs be doing, but it could be like, hey, bro, like, we better hit this party tonight. Like, should we see a group of shorties? Like, let's handle our business. Like, let's see what we can do. Or if it's like, hey, bro, like, we trying to go to this event. Let's get all this game here. Let's see how we can get our business started. Like, hey, you do this, I do. Like, I ain't never had that. And I've realized for myself that I've had to, and I was talking to a career coach about this. I'm going in different directions, but I had a career coach that I was speaking with. It was around last year, and she had me to go through like these different personality tests, and we was breaking it down, and she broke it down really well. Shout out to Coach Newsom. She was telling me that based on the attributes that I was showing, and based on like what the test was saying, I'm like an actionary and a visionary. And I was like, okay, like I hear you. Like I feel like that, but like kind of give me a little bit more info. And she was like, DeMarcus, you're somebody that will take action, but you also are somebody that sees the vision that others don't. So that kind of makes it like complicated. Like, you're someone that you'll get it done by any means, but you also see the vision that other people don't. Like, you're someone that, unfortunately, you're probably going to have to be that leader that shows people it can happen, and then put people in position to uphold some tasks that may be getting towards that vision, or going towards that vision, or you kind of giving them or showing them the light that it can be done. And I was like, wow, like, she was like, yeah, DeMar, I know, like, that can be like a tough thing to hear, not in a bad way, but it's like a lot of times throughout your life, maybe because of the way that you've been thinking, like you've kind of been like the blueprint, to paraphrase. And I'm like, wow, that's how I feel so many times. And I'm like, it's crazy throughout my life how many times that there's been situations where I felt alone because of how I've had to move through the situation, or because like I've had to figure it out for myself, or I may have been in a zone to where I've wanted more than the next person, or hey, we could be talking about goals, but I'm someone that's willing to try it and take that risk versus just sitting back. And like I said, I always want to preface that I've not always been in a position to where I've always been like the one to move forward and haven't procrastinated. Like I've been a person in the past where I always talk about something and I wouldn't finish it until like maybe a later point, or maybe not finish it at all. But there was something inside of me that just had me feeling so down that I'm like, why am I talking about all these things and it's not happening? I don't want to sit here and lie about something that I'm not doing, and me having the feel of it happening and it's not, like, that never sat well with me. And so that comes to a point of me like having to separate myself a lot of times, me having to move in certain ways, me also having me having so many experiences that people don't even know about or wouldn't even understand because of how they think that they see me. Like there's so many times when it comes to just life stuff in general, I'm not gonna get into, but like people would sense a way that they think that I ought to be moving. And in reality, I'm moving a totally opposite way. Or I'm doing like, or I'm having so many different experiences that people are like, they're so focused on the older me, like from 10 years ago. I don't even remember that person because I'm always leveling up. And they're like, oh, DeMarcus, you wasn't like this. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't even remember what you're talking about. Like, that time has passed so much. And I realize a lot of times when I'm talking to people, I'm leveling up so much that people can't keep up with me. And the ones that do keep up with me are the ones that stay in conversation with me, the ones that where we get a chance to talk all the time, and the ones where we get a chance to like just discourse and stuff all the time. But like, I'm a person where I'm just always moving and just always finding ways just to be able to challenge myself and challenge my curiosity. So when people kind of say like, "Oh, I remember when you was this or this and that," like it's different if you see who I am now versus who I used to be. But there's a lot of time, like even in a week's time, where I feel like that I'm outdoing my previous self, and I realize for the people that don't move in a similar way, like I don't really have like there's not really much conversation we can have. Like there's people in my life where it's like they can seem as if they're doing a good amount of things. Some of them can be doing some stuff, right? But we'll have conversations. It'll be some of the most basic level combos every single time. And I'll be trying to have those level up conversations, but for them, like they just can't see past that. And for me, like I've had to work on kind of separating myself because it's not saying that I'm better than anybody because I'm not, but if the goal of us is to be able to level up and become better as individuals, who wants to talk about the same things? Every time we get on the phone, one, I don't want to sit there and have to hide anything from my peoples, family, friends, because that's what it's for. We're supposed to be sharing stuff with each other because we're supposed to be at the forefront of each other's foundations. Associates and stuff like that, they're the ones supposed to get the info later, but we're supposed to be talking about everything we got going on. There may be some things obviously you want to keep to yourself, but like whatever it is, you should want to talk to the people around you about it. The thing about being in silence, and this also goes to the multifaceted piece, maybe I should do another episode on this, but like moving in silence, I think that that's like a great thing, but I think people get it misconstrued with not sharing things in your life. Like moving in silence is like, hey, I ain't got to sit here and tell everybody what I got going on. I ain't got to sit there and be giving every single detail, but for the people around you that care, you should want to share those things. You should, because you want a support system in what you're doing. See, a lot of times people will say, I want to move in silence, or I ain't going to tell people about what's going on, or, hey man, don't say anything about that. And I think that's just an insecure mindset because people feel as if there's something out in the world that's going to stop them from getting to the level they're supposed to. But that's not the case. If you're around people that care about you, around people that share similar energies, you're going to be on similar frequencies. So, hey, you're going to have that. You should have that trust there. But the point that I'm getting to is, or that I should have been gotten to, that I had gotten to previously, but I kind of went into a little spiral. But for me as a multifaceted individual, a big thing is just me being curious. That's what helped me to become the multifaceted person that I am. And also just stepping out and not waiting on people. Like not waiting on people was probably one of the biggest things that I did for myself. And it was a that was something that even people, elders and stuff that I've had in my life, parents and stuff like that, they typically would have somebody that was with them. So a lot of times when I would kind of step out and go somewhere by my, even to this day, my parents would be like, "Oh, DeMarcus, so you going there by yourself?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." "You ain't got nobody to go with?" "Nope." And sometimes I'll be going places where I'm going to this event, and I may say it after or something like that. Like I may be like, "Yeah, I went to this event." "Oh, who'd you go with?" "I went by myself," because I realize even for them, they may have been in positions where they've had people around, but like that stepping out and doing things on your own, that's a whole nother level of that even people in my family haven't had, because it takes a certain level of confidence for you to be able to say, you know what, I want something more out of my life. And I want something that maybe other people that would be around me can't see. So I got to do what's best for me. And I'm going to miss out on so many opportunities if I don't take the time to be able to do things on my own or fill it out for myself. And so I do feel that when it comes to taking those strides, you learn so much about yourself. But I think if you have people with you, the goal should be, how can we level up in these areas? What can we do to be able to help to influence or enhance each other's lives? If I got a friend come with me to a networking event, it shouldn't be where we just networking just going just to see what type of women there or whatever. Like, let's figure out how you can go to one workshop, I can get the knowledge, I can go to one workshop, we can come back together. Let's try to figure out how we can start a business for the future of both of our families. Yeah, we can have fun, kiki, but like, okay, if we can do it, if we having fun and kikiing, okay, let's figure out how we can both win. But a lot of times people can be so selfish, and from my unselfish type of nature, my selfless type of nature, it hasn't worked out in my favor. And so at times there'll be certain points where I can go out with people and we can make it, cool or whatever. But you also got to have somebody that's on the same frequency. Like they got to have the same sauce. They got to be able to move in a certain way. They got to be able to see things. And I know how to be able to get into those pockets. There's sometimes where I can move with people and I'm like, okay, this is cool right here. But everything, I can't move like that, because that takes away from not only myself, but a lot of times I run into situations where people just don't want to follow through, and that's okay. That is okay. So that's how DeMarcus has been able to explain his multifaceted nature. That's also my curiosity and my mindset around like what it means to be multifaceted. Also, when it comes to just my thought process of stepping out and on faith and just being willing to do things to be able to challenge myself. Like I don't think you'll understand how uncomfortable that stuff was for me. Like I mean, I've had times where I'll be going out sweating so bad, I'll be nervous. I'm over here like stuttering over words, just all stumbling over words, all types of things. But it has truly helped me to become the man that I am today. And a lot of times people ask me, how have I done it? I don't know. I don't know. Shout out to God. Shout out to some inner belief that I had in myself, but I just got tired of waiting on people, because there was no way that I could keep minimizing the fun that I wanted to have or the personal development in myself just because other people didn't want to follow through, or because they were afraid, or because they were insecure or whatever. Like that couldn't be me. And when I reflect back specifically on my 20s, I'll be 29 in a few days on the 14th. When I reflect back on my 20s, I was talking to one of my boys about this last night. I've had some beautiful experiences, and I feel like I'm still just getting started. I feel like I ain't even touched the surface yet. But the experiences that I've had in my 20s have been beyond crazy amazing. Like you talking about going to University of Louisville, being able to live my best life, being able to mold into an adult, and being able just to, in a sense, like have the time of my life, which took over like my childhood and everything. Like just that was just a beautiful experience to me. Like college was just a life-changing experience for me. I grew up in college, like it changed my life in every single way. Then coming to New York, but also even the in-between time, like the frustrating points about being back home, losing my scholarship my freshman year of college, like all those things have like built this gritty type of mentality for myself and have built me in a way where I've been able to like think about the world differently and level up in so many different areas. Even now, like my situation with going through layoffs and stuff last year, like it's built me in a different way. But that also is a test to all the other great experiences that I've had, which some of these situations, some of the downfalls that I had helped to enhance those experiences because it helped me to say to myself, hey, we got to move in a different way. We've got to figure things out in a different way. You don't want to be average, right? Like, hey, sometimes you may lose something, but you got to figure out how to be gritty and get it back and then level up even more. So I'm going to have more episodes where I talk about all of that, and I'm excited to continue to be able to share about my life and my perspectives and just my curiosity and my mindset. But this is the life of a multifaceted. This is me today talking about what it's meant for me and the aspects of my life that pushed me to become multifaceted. And when I had a chance to think about it the other day, I was like, wow, like you've come a long way and you're just getting started. So it's your boy DeMarcus. This is the life of a multifaceted. For all the people that have been a part of this journey so far, aka my faceteers, keep locking in with me. I got a lot more stuff coming. I got so much dope content that I haven't even put out because of me just being on my journey, which has been so dope. If you haven't yet, follow your boy on Instagram, that man Marco. Also mashing up with Marco. Listen, people have been asking where I've been at. This content, when I get back in that zone, cause I've been doing so much content behind the scenes. It ain't like I just been sitting here not doing nothing. Like I've been really doing hella content. So hopefully people can keep up when I get back on the prowl. TikTok is both of those pages as well too. We'll see how I do the TikTok. It's just hard when you try to do the songs and everything. They copyright so much stuff. But you can also follow me on YouTube, The Multifacets of DeMarcus, and my podcast here is The Life of a Multifaceted. So got a lot of dope things coming. Definitely tap in with me. If you get a chance, DM me. Just tell me that you've been listening to the content. You've been checking out my stuff, and I'll gladly respond. But appreciate y'all, man. Hopefully everybody continues to move forward. Continue to be the best person you can be for yourself. Continue to love yourself as an individual, and continue just to be able to do those things that you want to do. Don't wait on people. Don't let people steer you away from the goals that you have. Continue to be that actionary and that visionary and making it happen, and then everybody else will follow through. So I'll follow suit. So it's your boy DeMarcus. This is the life of a multifaceted. I'm out here. Deuce.